Hello everybody, and welcome back to the In God's Country tutorial. I know that some of you have been wondering where part 3 is or has been, and I want to let you guys know that I have already recorded this part already earlier this week, but I had some technical problems and I lost audio and I was really angry. So I've already done this before, but because I had some issues, I got to go back and I got to shoot it again. So I've already taught everything I'm about to teach you, and I'm really frustrated, but it's okay. Basically, I had audio in the video all the way up until the very end of the video, and I still was trying to teach some parts, and I lost audio. And I went to edit it, and I realized this, and well, I was just like, I just knew I had to come back and do this again. But it's okay. I'm here, and I'm still teaching you guys through all the problems. Before we dive into this, I want to let you know what we're going to cover. We're just covering the second chorus, not the first chorus. The second chorus, the lead up to the solo, and then we're going to cover the solo itself, and then the outro. And the outro is simple. It's the same thing as the introduction. It is the exact same thing as the introduction, actually. Very simple. We don't have much to cover, but let's just get right to this, okay? Let me move the camera before we start teaching. I would say that's probably about good enough. And before I start teaching, I'm not monitoring my guitar signal. So in order to record my signal, I'm not able to monitor it. So some of my playing may not be great. I just want to let you know, because all that I can hear out of my ear is just the guitar acoustically, basically. I can't hear like a guitar signal. So my playing may be a little bit weird, and you may have noticed that in part 1 too. So without any further ado, let's jump in here. So we left off in the last video with I think we left off at the second chorus, right? We had covered all of the verse. The verses are the same. Nothing changes in the verse. But from chorus 1 to chorus 2, there is a change. And I think it's really important that you get this change. It's not a very drastic change. It's not, anything crazy. You're still playing chords. It's still the same rhythm. Everything is the same except for one chord. So you're going to start, before we jump into the change, the first chorus, if you remember, we go E minor, and then it goes G, and then it goes D. And you kind of play, the rhythm kind of goes like this. Is my low E string out of tune? Give me 1 second to tune this. I'm sorry. I feel like it is. So anyway, that is the first chorus. Something like that, to that general effect, right? So the second chorus is going to be the same rhythm and everything, same basic structure and everything, but one chord is going to change, and it's going to be that first chord. That E minor is going to change, and it's going to become a C. And that C, and I'll have to do this in post, I'll put a subtitle on the screen so you can see exactly what chord, but your C chord, I would suggest playing it basically like this. All right, so, middle finger on the A string of the third fret of the A string, and then your ring finger on the third fret of the B string. It's kind of like a G, but you play a C in the bass. So that's the C chord there. I'll put up the exact chord name on the screen so you can get it. So it's just that's the only change to the second chorus. It's just gonna go from this to this. So it's keeping the same rhythm and everything. It's just one chord changes. So that, I think that we have that covered, right? Second chorus, you guys got that down. We're going to go now, that goes from the second chorus to the lead up to the solo. And so I'm kind of breaking this down. So I'm going to put up on the screen for you guys what we just covered, the second chorus, and you guys can check out chorus number 2 before we go into the lead up to the solo. I want to make sure that you guys kind of see everything that we're covering. All right, so you guys just saw the chorus. So now we're going to go to the lead up to the guitar solo. And I'm going to teach you before I bring up the video on screen, the lead up to the solo. And then after I teach you guys, we'll bring up this part that I'm about to teach you on the screen so you can see it. So the lead up to the solo is really simple. It's basically you're playing on one string, and it's basically a walking down riff type thing. Starts off on a C, and then it's just going to walk it down to a B, and then an open A. So C, B, A, and then it's going to end on a D. I think that's right. Just give me a second to play it. Yeah, that's right. All right, so this is going to do, you're going to play this part. I think you're going to play this 2 times before the actual solo. So I'm just to make things clear, I'm going to play the whole lead up to the solo for you, okay? And then we'll teach it. I think that'll help make things clear, right? And then it goes into the solo from there. Okay? So that whole part is 3rd fret A string, which is a C, and then 2nd fret A string, which is a B, and then open A string. And then you would follow that A string up with a D. And that's the first pass, or what I call the first pass. And then you're going to come back to this C, and then you're going to walk it down again to a B, 2nd fret A string, and then you're going to open A string. And then that kind of, I guess, hold that note is what I would do. And then it goes into the guitar solo. So I think we've got this down right. I'm going to play it really slow now for you guys so you can see it again. And then just kind of hold that note. Let it ring out, I guess. So I think you guys got that right. Pretty simple part, right? And then we go into the guitar solo. So I'm going to put on video for you guys what we just covered, the lead up to the guitar solo. All right? All right, so you should have just seen the lead up to the guitar solo. We're going to pick up now with the guitar solo. And this is not a difficult solo. Mostly, the Edge is letting his effects do most of the work for him on the guitar solo. He's letting the delay work with him instead of trying to do too much on the solo. He's doing, in fact, on the fretboard, he's not doing very much on the fretboard down here at all. He's just really letting the delay do all the work. So, the fretted notes that you're going to use for the solo, you're going to come back, remember that part in verse 1, or in both verses, where you play that lead part, where you're kind of going to come back down and you're going to do something similar to that. It's going to be a little bit different from what we did, but the same general idea, right? You're going to fret 19, then you're going to go 17, then you're going to go 15, then you're going to go 14. And then the second pass around, you're going to go 19, 17, 15. And this is all on the high E string, by the way. The E string is the only string you should be fretting for the solo. So again, 19, 17, 15, 14. Then you come back and play 19, 17, 15. And the speed at which he plays this is kind of like this. I'm going to do my best demonstration without effects, okay? So just kind of bear with me on this one. Buckle down because this is going to probably be kind of bad. So I'm sure that was not the best rendition. You can see my cover for a pretty decent idea of how to play that. But the general idea, I can't speak today, I'm sorry. The general idea is to fret that note and then lay your fingers over the top of the strings, like your index and your ring finger or middle finger over the string. Your ring finger is going to be fretting the notes, and then these are going to be laying, like, does that give you a good idea? It's how to do it. You know, these fingers are muting the rest of these strings. From the B string up, you want to mute those strings, and the E string only needs to be fretted. So you're creating like this muted guitar effect. So when you play this with a delay on, you get this really full, rich sound. You kind of get what I'm trying to get at here, right? So, that's like the technique that you would play with. I don't think there's really a whole lot to teach with this solo. It's very simple. There's not a lot to it. We're almost done here. So just pick it really, strum it really fast. You're almost doing like a strumming thing with this. You can kind of, you know, practice doing that, you know, with that motion with your wrist. A hurt and pick really helps as well. You know, these hurt and picks definitely make a big difference in terms of this song. I mean, I just don't think there's much else to cover with a guitar solo. I've told you the notes. You're going to play that whole solo part, 19, 17, 15, 14, 19, 17, 15. You're going to play that, and then you're going to come back and repeat it, and then it goes into the outro, or into the outro. So let's bring that up on screen. All right, so you just saw the solo that I played on my cover. So before the solo, or before we go into the outro, I played this little part in the cover that I improvised on the spot, to be honest. And this is not played by YouTube, but I thought it sounded really cool instead of just playing whatever. And I'm just going to teach you that part and what I did for the outro, for the part going into the outro, basically. I don't know what you would call this. I guess this could still be like part of the solo. So what I did is I just did octave chords all the way down, just coming all the way down the fretboard and then coming back up, and it's just an octave chord. So the first octave chord is a D. So I started off on a D, and I used the 5th fret A string for the bass and 7th fret G string. And you're just going to keep this shape all the way down the fretboard. It's just this same shape, and it's just octaves all the way down. And I just slide them down. So go from this to an E, to an F sharp, to a G, to an A, back to the D, and then a C really quickly. I really quickly went from that C, then back to the D. So in full speed, this is what I played. Something to that effect, I think. So again, just one octave, A string and G string octaves. So 1 octave, you're going to slide it down. So from the 5th fret and the 7th fret G string, 5th fret A, 7th fret G, you're going to slide that down 2 frets to the, hold on, I got something in my eye, to the 7th fret of the A string and 9th fret G, and then you're going to slide it down 2 more frets, 9th fret A and 11th fret G, then 1 fret, 10th fret of the A and 12th fret G, and then 2 more frets, A to basically an A octave, so 12th fret A string, and then 14th fret G, and you're going to slide that back down to that D, and then you're going to slide to the C really quickly. So that C part that I went to, it's a really quick change. So kind of like that. But then you just slide it down to the 3rd fret, in case you're wondering where that octave is played. It's 3rd fret, it's a C, and then back to the D. And that's the end of that whole part. And I'm going to bring that up on screen for you as well, so you can see that. All right, so you've seen the octave part that I made up, and honestly, I did make that up on the spot. I'm not claiming that it's great or anything. I just want to let you know that that's not in any version that you two have played, at least as far as I know. But I thought it sounded pretty cool. So from that part, you have the end of the song. It's the outro from this point on. And the outro is just the same sliding D-shaped chord that I taught back in the first part of how to play. I can't even get it right. You're going to go back into that, and you're going to go back into that a couple of times. I don't remember exactly how many times it plays that, but then it ends on this D-shaped chord. Right there. So you kind of go back to here and you would slide for the end. And it ends on a D. That D octave. Like I was teaching you back in the first part of how to play. So that's what it ends on. And I hope that that's clear. Sometimes I feel like I don't teach clear enough, and some people may be confused. Hopefully you're not leaving too confused with these tutorials, but that's all there is to the song, really. I know I think this was kind of a long video. I'm going to bring this back up to me so you can see my face again. But I feel like this was a long video. I'll figure out how long when I go to edit this tonight. I'll figure out how long it really is. But there's not a lot to the song. It's pretty simple. I think everyone who checks out this video, I feel like you guys can get this. Again, if you do have questions about anything, just shoot me a question. I'll try to answer it. And I just appreciate the support. I want to let you. But those first tutorials, they got some interesting feedback on them. Some of those comments have been deleted, by the way. But I got some interesting comments on those first videos, and so I've been hesitant to go back and do more. But I got comments that it's really helping people, and I'm always glad to help out. That's the whole point of this channel, is to help people out and also do some covers and have some fun. This channel is purely a channel about having fun. That's what I set it up for. That's what it's intended to be, a fun channel and a channel to help people learn. To come soon. I can't really give you guys an exact date, so that's next on my schedule. I got a couple of things to do for the fake plastic trees cover that I'm shooting, so we're almost done. There's quite a bit going on for me. I've got some original music that I'm releasing soon for free, and that's going to be on a site called Noise Trade, and I'll put a link in the description if I can remember. And it's called Noise Trade. I've already got a song up there, and I can leave a link up there to it if you want to check it out. But I'm not here to promote myself, but I just want to let you guys know some of my plans for the summer, to do more music stuff, more tutorials. So that's what's next. Thank you guys so much for watching and for the great feedback, and I'm glad to help you guys out once more. Keep watching and stay tuned, because there's going to be more coming this summer. Hopefully more tutorials. I'll see you guys later.